Hi guys, my name is Trinity, and before we get this video started, I want to give a big shout out to my first two patrons. That would be Kate and Rosanna. I'm so thankful for everything you guys do to support my channel, and I'm so excited about moving forward with my vlogs and things like that. New stuff to show you guys and discuss with you guys. I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. So, for October, we have the lowest stats I've ever had. I don't want to say that I'm getting into a reading slump because I don't think that's what it is. I think my life is just a little chaotic lately. And so I am prioritizing things other than reading. However, that does mean for October, I read 5 books, DNF'd 1, leaving me with 4 that I completed. And that is the lowest I've ever had. Also, my reading month was not great. So for the month of October, I had posted a poll on Twitter, and I said the top 3 books that everyone votes for, I will read in October. So I read 2 of them, and I'm starting to think my Twitter followers do not care what my tastes are and just pick their favorite books because I didn't like any of them. I did not read Best Served Cold, but that was just because I was on a little bit of a time crunch and didn't get around to reading it. Also, I started the book that I'm doing for the vlog for my Patreons, so I just didn't get around to that. The book that I'm reading for that vlog is chunky. But yeah, no, I don't trust Twitter anymore. Twitter, you're doing me dirty. So the first book that I read in October would be Belladonna. I picked this book up as an ARC because I loved All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. I thought that that duology was great, really liked the writing and everything like that. And then this is a gothic novel. I didn't love it. I didn't love it. So I think part of the reason I didn't really like this one as much as I liked All the Stars and Teeth is because there are a lot of instances where things are just, they read young, pretty young. And while All the Stars and Teeth does have a young tone to it as well, I felt like the character herself was pretty mature, like the main character. In this one, I did not think the main character was all that mature. However, you know, she's falling in love with death and all of that stuff. And I'm just, I don't know. I think that I was a little bit over. The love triangle thing, I'm a little over. Her writing, though, still remains to be very, very good. And I would say that it has moments of like lyricism and stuff like that, but it's not consistent throughout. And my overall thoughts on this book were 3 stars. Like, you know, it's okay. It's fine. There's nothing really wrong with it. I can't say that it's a standard young adult novel because it does have that classic gothic feel to it. But we have a young girl who everyone around her is dying, and she doesn't know why. She will move on from one family to the next, having been orphaned, and everywhere she goes, the people around her die. Well, she finds out that she is immune to death herself, practically immortal, and that kind of lends to her relationship with death as an actual character in the story. And I don't know, there was just so many things about it that kind of fell flat for me. And I was really, really expecting to love this because you guys know I have an affinity for gothic books, and it just fell flat. It fell flat. Now, the next book I read was also a young adult gothic, and that would be Ghostwood Song by Erica Waters. Now, this is a classic Southern Gothic, and I've told everyone who's asked me about this book that it has a Devil Went Down to Georgia feel. That's the only way I know how to describe it, because the main character is a fiddle player who can summon the dead. And we end up in a battle with the big bad who's very demonic. And so it's very much a Devil Went Down to Georgia kind of tale. I adored this one. I absolutely adored this one. And this one has been on my shelves for 2 years. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I do have another from Erica Waters now. I don't remember which one it is. I will let you guys know whenever I like do a TBR or something like that. But I'm just, I kind of fell in love with this. The Devil Went Down to Georgia thing just kind of hit home for me, I guess. But the writing is very pretty. The characters are really, really great. It's very easy to get attached to these characters. And just everything about this is pretty dark. I will say that. Everything about this book is pretty dark. I loved the forest setting that we have. I love how all of the elements of the story came together in the end. It was so good. I highly recommend this. If you're looking for a gothic novel that's not so heavy, this is a very good option. This and Horrid, House of Salt and Sorrow, Small Favors, like those kinds of books, I really, really enjoy. And yeah, just another great gothic to add to my list. So next, I actually started August Kitko and the Mechas from Space. However, I just got to a point where I'm DNFing it. So what I need to say about this book is it's actually pretty good, but nothing about the book spoke to me personally. So we have a main character who's a piano player, and these mechas who like have taken over the universe are about to land and destroy their planet. That's kind of what's going on here. And so they're throwing a big party to be like, we don't care, the world's about to end, we're all gonna die, let's go out with a bang. In this, they meet their favorite pop star, and their favorite pop star like ends up on this journey with them. I'm not into music. Like, I like music, I like listening to music, but it's not a thing for me. Like, I don't sit and play music. I don't have like, I just don't have a big affinity for it. And that's what this book is about, is music. And music saving the world. So it was weird. August is a little bit whiny. The other main character is a mega pop star, so they weren't all that interesting to me. And there's so many things fell flat for me. However, the writing is really good. I don't think there's anything wrong with the writing. And the concepts themselves, I think, are also very good, but they weren't for me. And so while I wanted to love this book, I really did, because I really like weird books, I thought that this would be one that would just captivate me, but it's just nothing about it worked for me. Nothing about it worked. Next, I let Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative talk me into reading Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. And oh my gosh, this one was good. It's short. It's very, very short. And it's very much a psychological thriller. It's not really horror, and there aren't like all of these mannequins coming to life and killing people or anything like that. But it was such a rich story for the small amount of pages that we have, and I absolutely adored it. I actually listened to this one on audio because I downloaded it from Chirp like a long time ago and then just never got around to listening to it. But Stephen Graham Jones is just kind of masterful with the mental health thing. I think it's his strong suit, and his books are never really what you think they're gonna be. So I just enjoyed it so much. Highly recommend it. If you're looking for something a little spooky this holiday season, I know that Halloween has passed, but you know, we are still in spooky season according to moi. I think you should pick it up. I think you should give it a try. It's really good, but just go in expecting like a psychological thriller, not exactly a horror novel about mannequins. So the next book that I read would be the first book that my Twitter people picked for me, and it would be The Gutter Prayer by Gareth Hanrahan. I said I had one DNF. I had two, and there's another book that I need to talk about, so don't pay attention to what I said earlier, because man, my brain went into left field just for a second. But anyway, I read The Gutter Prayer by Gareth Hanrahan and DNF'd it about 30% of the way through. This was not the book for me at all, at all, at all. And I like thieves and assassins. It's like my favorite thing to read about. There was no thieving in this book. It was said it was about thieves, but there was no thieving happening. And it was so meandering. I could not stand it. The writing was good. The writing was pretty good. The atmosphere was good. Like, the whole fantasy setup was pretty decent, but I do not like meandering plots. I do not like when the plot goes nowhere. Like I hate it. I hate it. I can't take it. And I could not get into this book whatsoever. Like it did not work for me. It's up on my Pango if anybody wants to buy it, because I had the first two in really good condition, but no, I didn't like it at all. And that leads me into the second book that Twitter picked for me, and that would be Devil in the Dark Water. It's already gone. Let's just say that. I didn't like this one either. No, I liked this one while I was reading it. I really liked it while I was reading it. I had a great time while I was reading it, but if I ever set the book down, I didn't care that I was reading it. And I've never really had that experience with a book. Maybe I have, but I can't recall another book that's happened with, but like I would read it, it would be great, or good, it would be good, and I'd be enjoying it, I'd set it down, and then I wouldn't pick it up again for 2 days. Because I didn't care. I didn't care what was happening. It's like, you know, when you sit down to watch those TV shows and they turn into background noise. That's kind of what it was like reading Devil in the Dark Water for me. And I know a lot of people like the characters. I'm not a character-driven reader, so that didn't matter to me. And I found all of the events to be entertaining. But again, like I said, you sit down and watch a TV show, you might like it. It's good while you're watching it, but you don't talk to your friends about it later. You just kind of watch it because it's there. But it was good, but not good enough to like make me give it anything above a 3.5. And like I said, I would sit it down, forget about it, walk away, and not pick it up again for 2 days. So I didn't find anything about it all that great. All right, and squeezing in just under the wire, and that's kind of why I forgot that I read this in October, because I like finished it on Halloween, was Upgrade by Blake Crouch. I loved this. This is weird for me because so many people are like, it was okay, it's not Blake Crouch's best work. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, in my opinion. I loved this. I absolutely loved this. I gave it 5 stars. I have no qualms with giving it 5 stars. I've heard everybody else's reviews, and I'm like, I really, really enjoyed this. Now, for me, entertainment value is really high up there. And I found this to be the most entertaining Blake Crouch book I've read. I found this to be the most entertaining sci-fi I've read in quite a while. And that is kind of where my 5-star is coming from. Do I think this is the best written book ever? No. Are people going to hate the ending of this book? Yes, a lot. Do I think the characters were great? No. I couldn't put this book down though. I could not put this book down. I had to know what was going to happen. I was really intrigued by the science. I was really intrigued by the sci-fi aspect of this. Like, it was so cool. It was so cool. I really enjoyed the relationships in this. I really enjoyed the main character. Everything about this book I absolutely loved. And so I get the criticism. I get that it's not Blake Crouch's best written work. I get that everybody's going to hate the ending, or most people are going to hate the ending of this book. I get that the main character does something really shifty at the end of this book, and you're going, what? But I liked that. I liked it. And I thought it made for a great story. I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. It's my personal opinion that this book is great, but it's great, and like, I find it highly, highly entertaining. All right, that is it for me today. Like, subscribe. Don't forget I have a Patreon, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.